first present some evidence.
Of course.
Um,
Neo, would you like to make a picture chat for the what's it called? Well, he's actually not in chat anymore. Okay. We don't. I mean, just put in the court filing for us, or the court filing. I don't have any proper places yet to
okay,
place those
so
pictures.
right. So in court filing, I'm going to post the evidence. This first is concerning the charge of um, dis ex disrespect to superiors to an excessive degree. Um, the second charge is a charge I actually forgot to initially state because I forgot about it. It's almost midnight here. I apologize. Am I allowed to still levy that charge?
That's the disrespect.
Um,
That's
this is mainly plotting against imperial justice. Just
oh
gonna put that there. No, Mr. Ananas, you can. I'm just posting
yeah,
my own, and then you get an opportunity to post yours in a
yeah,
second. Just so it's clear, I'm
you
going
know,
to be deleting these just so that I can get this as a single stream of messages.
you're fine.
Um,
And that's how court is going to work. It's still in, just like technically the second one we currently have in Iraq. Prosecutor's going, he's getting all the evidence on their side, saying his case, putting any witnesses forward, and then your lawyer Taint would be next. Now, Taint, I have one quick question. It is kind of just out of the blue. Didn't you what's it called? Represent Emo Gan in that court case?
Yeah.
Ah,
that didn't go so well.
I remember your profile picture, so I was wondering as Catalyst is posting the pictures.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just scrolling up
You
to
fine?
find this particular. One second, because I need to crop this slightly because there's some private information on it. Let me just, please excuse me for 1 second.
You're fine. Okay.
Okay, 1 second. I have the first screenshot. It's coming in now. Sorry, I just need to delete that. Let's go. There we go. There's the first one. I'll be just grabbing the second one.
Okay.
1 second.
You're fine. Say 1 second, 1 second once more. It won't be 1 second, one but. uh,
Okay. And there's the last screenshot, and then I can move on to the next series of evidences. Oh, hang on, have I? Okay, now we're good. It's just a bit of a slowdown on my internet.
you're
Um,
fine.
that is plotting against imperial justice and preemptively attempting to raise a merc. Oh, that's another charge I forgot. Declaring war on a foreign nation without imperial consent.
Okay. Now since the court case has already started, I would let the disrespect to people so the superiors slide because well, that was kind of brought up as on DMs briefly. But since the court case has already started, you would have to go through another court case to go through that, thing.
No, that's all right.
Okay.
No
Okay.
worries. That's my bad. Just scrolling through our DMs to grab it. Here's the secessionism charge. Attempted plotted secession. Am I missing a charge? I don't think so. Maybe?
Your charges, man.
I, I think we're good. Apart from the big one of, yeah, war without imperial consent. But yeah, we can handle that another day if even necessary.
Okay, so that is all your evidence, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Would you like to present that evidence, like talk about the evidence to the court here?
So, Mr. Ananas, the issue was brought to my attention when I noticed that the Catania General was blowing up a little bit over Mr. Ananas. I was contacted by Mr. Ananas. Just a little bit of context. Actually, no, that's unnecessary. I was contacted by oh, he has a ton of different nicknames, but I'll just grab you his actual root Discord. Scrolling. Micronesia. Asking for imperial military aid in dealing with Mr. Ananas, and that brought the situation to my attention. I made a Discord group of which most of this evidence is compiled from, and said, "Okay, you have to just explain me the whole situation, and I will pass a judgment." And I got, oh yes, there's also the charge of the imperial decree that I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something.
No, that's
But
fine. That was charged.
yeah, so and I have evidence that Neo gave me personal jurisdiction over the case. And then I decided to start hearing evidence. The evidence I was presented to me basically mainly concerned previous past actions initially and general toxicity and poor behavior that is not conducive to a good community within our nation. And the main people who gave me those testimonies was Angel Stoyanov, Kazat, and Nimrod. I am just trying to scroll to the top of my DMs so I can say what they said word for word, but there's a massive amount. Any second now. Okay. All right. So according to Tio, I have this in writing. If you request to see it, there was an issue between Ragnarvik and Irontown. He squatted, as far as I can tell, right next to Ragnarvik, and his claim is newer than Ragnarvik, so it is a proof of squatting. And he apparently claimed some of their wall as Irontown. This feeds on to then him asking me to overrule Catanian permission and get Irontown, permit Irontown to vassalize Ragnarvik, although he didn't use those words. He described it as a parent city. The other thing, Tio then went on to describe his inability to cooperate with higher ups. Then he showed me those screenshots, the first ones about between Tio and Mr. Ananas. He has shown, quote, "He has done nothing but show disrespect after I have called him a liar for the Puerto Amarillo land dispute." And yes, and then he went on to show me the evidence for the secessionism when Kazat was running for Catanian governor. Some kind of conversation took place between him and Mr. Ananas when Mr. Ananas attempted to broker an independence deal. The other thing is about the case that I forgot to mention. However, this is personally within my own jurisdiction, so I'm not particularly concerned. I think that is all I have succinctly to bring against Mr. Ananas at this time.
Okay. Now, defense, would you like to show your evidence and, explain it as well? And I'll also point out while he's back before talking, I have made a temporary courtroom at the court building. So if you would like to join in game, there is a place to be, if you wish.
Sorry, I misclicked then and left the channel. I think I missed
You're
a
fine.
little bit of that. Is the
No, you're
defense going ahead?
Defense is going ahead, and I also announced that there is a temporary location. There is a temporary courtroom set up at the court building for this trial if you wish to join in game. And you cannot really miss it because literally right outside is spawn. So just a note. I'm just grabbing something. Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. Near but poor is near but poor witness, by the way. Zed, so court place is literally at LA spawn Uraka. It's just straightforward. You see like two people hopefully sitting inside the building. And near but poor is one of your witnesses, yes, okay. We brought to your stand if you're prosecuted so does wish afterwards after the evidence presented by the defense. Lots of people showing up the courtroom. Ooh. Don't expect too much. This building literally was under renovation not too long ago, like 2.5 hours ago. Mr. Taint, are you still present?
Yep.
I want to make sure. Okay, Mr. Okay, yeah, so presenting your evidence. And that's a bit drafty in the courtroom, so just a bit warning if you need to bring a coat. Okay, and there is a court no mic, looks like no, Neo has blessed it with us. Are you okay? So it looks like ananas. Ananas. Okay, I don't know how to say your name. It sounds like bananas, but not. Hey, we'd like to present evidence Mr. Anas has presented to us.
Pardon?
We'd like to present the evidence Mr. Anas has posted in the court filing chat.
Alright, yeah, give me a second.
Of course.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't understand half the screenshots he just sent.
Okay. Well, Anas, would you like to present the evidence then? I mean,
I could explain some context, actually. It's been explained to me in detail several times. But
if
as a
you get
member of the
prosecuted.
prosecution, that
Yeah.
could be inappropriate. So I suppose it would be Mr. Ananas, as far as I'm aware, does not have a mic, so this could be problematic.
We have no mic for that, so
If Mr. Ananas, if you would like to please elaborate on the individual pictures, and perhaps I can maybe, in my capacities as an attempted neutral party, at least at first explain what was explained to me by Mr. Ananas over a much longer period of time with many more words.
okay.
So feel free to do that, Mr. Ananas, at your discretion, but we don't have all day.
Well, for your night.
All morning now, actually.
Hmm.
It's 10 past midnight
That's
on a school night.
lots of people showing up to court case. And it'd be much appreciated if you didn't wear armor inside of the courtroom, by the way. So just heads up. Thank you.
If Mr. Ananas is unable to elaborate, then I'm afraid it will just have to be me, even if that's not ideal.
Yeah.
I am apologize. I was hoping you would reply to the individual pieces of evidence so we could know exactly what
Yeah.
was being discussed.
All right, Your Honor. My client is saying that it's all just a big misunderstanding.
Okay. If it was a misunderstanding, it most likely should have been sorted outside of court, but he did dispute the claim of
I
secessionism.
disagree.
And yeah,
I disagree. There was no misunderstanding here. Mr. Ananas claims that the prosecuting party doesn't properly understand the situation, despite that being false. Could I please elaborate? I understand that it is the defense's turn, but if I could have the floor.
does the defense allow this?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so Mr. Ananas, first of all, I know this isn't in chronological order, but I would like to address certain things. First of all, the picture he has of a Minecraft book refers to an incident between him and the town of Ragnarvik, where he claimed their walls after settling right next to them, and subsequently, apparently, as you can see, signed a peace treaty with a Mr. Killer 097GR. Mr. Killer, at the point, was the co-ruler of Ragnarvik, but quickly, days later, I'm told, moved on to settle in a completely other nation. The other co-ruler, who then became the sole ruler, was not aware of this peace treaty at all and had never signed, meaning the treaty was invalid. Since no party that signed from the Ragnarvik side was in Ragnarvik at the time, not at the time, but as in was in Ragnarvik when the treaty became relevant, and no party that was in power was made aware of it, and no effort by Mr. Ananas to re-establish the treaty was made. Mr. Ananas doesn't seem to understand the concept that if a treaty is not agreed on by both sides, it cannot be enforced. Mr. Ananas has used this to attempt to poorly gain the upper hand morally by saying that he has a treaty with Ragnarvik and they agree that it is all okay and it is just a misunderstanding. This is not an opinion shared by any member of Ragnarvik, let alone leaders with the authority to make this kind of decision, to sign a treaty. Killer 097GR, although I don't have evidence of this to hand, has expressed regret at signing the treaty, and has had hostile encounters with Mr. Ananas very recently, just today, I believe, that would indicate that they are not exactly on the best of terms. But that is neither here nor there. Therefore, this treaty is completely not only ignoring the fact that it is poorly written and has numerous loopholes and regular holes even that just doesn't address many issues that was trying to be agreed upon.
Okay, you done?
No, unfortunately. There's a
Fine.
lot to talk about, I'm afraid. Mr. Ananas has attempted to waive all conversations about the matter using this treaty, despite it being poorly written and no member in power of Ragnarvik having signed. So in effect, it is a non-issue. Additionally, the top post that Mr. Ananas said I have passed on to a certain individual that I will not say because this actually amusingly incriminates one of his co-conspirators who I was previously not aware of. That is an international matter though, which is purely in my purview. This details me attempting to bribe the mercenaries that Mr. Ananas was hiring in a separate event that I have failed to bring up in time for it to be considered into this court case. These mercenaries were being hired to attack the sovereign nation of Amarillo without imperial support. However, that is not what he's being prosecuted for today. The only reason I bring this up is because I'm not exactly sure why he brought this evidence to the table, just explaining it for the confused among us. With the one below that, the second picture he posted in court filing, describes a conversation between Tio and Mr. Ananas where Mr. Ananas is attempting to. If you see about halfway down, you see Ragnarvik. You know that these happened a really long time ago, right? Basically, Mr. Ananas has used a tactic of attempting to use time since incident as a way to completely waive any criticism he has received to the incident. Whereas Mr. Ananas has numerously timed when brought to his main defences, when attempts have been made to bring him to account for his actions at Ragnarvik previously, all defences compose of it happened a long time ago and we have a treaty. Happening a long time ago is a complete irrelevant fact. The fact they had a treaty is irrelevant because the treaty is completely invalid on all accounts except for Mr. Ananas's himself. And a treaty, you cannot decide that a treaty has been agreed upon on behalf of the other party, which Mr. Ananas cannot seem to understand. When there is a little bit of conversation and the block is broken up, this is apparently some kind of I'm guessing some kind of evidence that Mr. Ananas is trying to use as a way of Angel Stroyanov being unfair treating towards them. This is Angel Stroyanov trying to strong-arm an Ananas into a peaceful solution, because at this point Angel was aware that he was trying to raise a mercenary army of around 10 to take on either Amarillo or the Iraqi government. It is unclear as to which was at the point the target. I do have evidence for that, however, I haven't presented it at this time. So if the defendant requests it, I'll give it. If I can find it in my DMs.
No, it's fine. No, since it still technically is the defendant's turn, I just want to pause real quick and see if the defendant has anything to say. Either NS or Taint.
I have actually just found that evidence. I already actually presented it at the very beginning of my evidence. I'm placing the relevant snippet of it just here. Just an FYI. Where Yahya, just for Yahya is Nimrod, I believe. And Nimrod has been feeding information from inside Mr. Ananas's group of him talking to the mercenaries in question about turning either Uraka or Amarillo. It's one of those two. We are still unsure as to which. It's likely Amarillo, but we have reasons to suspect Uraka. Yes. Obviously, I pass the floor to Snowflake.
Okay. Taint, do you have any rebuttals or the statements you wish to bring up?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. No, I will go ahead and ask this. I mean, I didn't bring up Ordium, because it is a dispute of charges, but since the charges have been stated by both by me and then by the prosecutor, how do you plead, NS, if I can ask?
Innocent.
Alright. So the way we will proceed is, I assume from what the prosecutor had already previously stated that he did have a witness that he would wish to bring to the stand. Do you still wish that, prosecutor?
I may bring a witness to the stand, however, I am unsure as to if it's necessary. I will actually leave that up to the discretion of the witness if he believes that everything. I believe a confirmation of merely the evidence that he provided would be satisfactory to me, but if otherwise, to the
Bring him up.
defense's opinion. All right, then, I will bring up the witness. I hope he has a mic. I haven't checked. But I've just invited Nimrod Neobutpour up to the stand. He is the only witness here today at this time, as far as I can tell. If you could accept that request to speak. Hang on, I think you may have dismissed it by accident. Let me invite you again. Oh, hang on. He's on phone. Sometimes the this doesn't work well. The
There you go. No, it's
oh, that's
hello, Winter.
Winter.
Okay. Pardon me, Your Honor. I invited myself because people have been typing and people have not been reading their messages.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
The person you attempted to invite up here cannot speak,
Okay.
but they said they can type.
Okay. Well, then, at the court's discretion, Nimrod, go ahead. I'll move you back to the audience, Winter, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Personally,
Type in chat.
I just require a confirmation since I have personally presented what evidence you have supplied me. However, you can. The defense has requested you to present the evidence. What exactly have you specific evidence on? Because I believe you only have evidence on a few of the charges. Personally, as far as a witness is concerned, could you please state what those are? What evidence or what witness testimony you can bring as far as the charges are concerned, and on what charges those would be? Well, is that all of your testimony, Mr. Nimrod?
Okay. Now, Mr. C. Nimrod. Tate, do you have any questions for the witness at the stand currently?
No. No.
Okay. If both parties okay if the witnesses take the seats again?
I have a witness.
Oh, you have a witness. Okay. Go ahead, call your witness to the stand.
I don't have permission. It's Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer, got it. I can do that. Let's see. There you go. Can you request permission, Demon Slayer? You might speak. I invited you to speak if you want to click that one button.
Additionally, if you don't have a mic, feel free to declare it in chat. If you're
He has a
AFK,
mic. He has a mic.
If you're AFK, that is unfortunate. Oh no,
No, he just DM'd me. He's here.
Okay.
Yes, so if you're on phone and in certain scenarios, this is a very new thing with Discord, these stages, so they're a little buggy at the moment, unfortunately. It's just something we're going to have to deal with. Can we not have arguments about the case just yet?
Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, chill on mic. We're trying to be professionals here. Is there a way to move Demon to the speaking chat?
No, that's the most annoying part. Oh, hang on. I think he's I can. Oh no, actually.
I can invite him.
I don't believe there is, unfortunately, because he has to accept the thing, and most of the issues come with accepting it in the first place.
Okay. Then do you want to put your
Try
hand up?
rejoining Demon.
Yeah. Try leaving and joining and putting your hand up.
Mr. Ananas, you're not neither you nor the person you are arguing with has currently got the floor. So could you both please refrain at the time?
No, he just left. He's rejoining.
Okay. And look, Demon's there.
Demon, put your hand up. There you go.
There you go. Let's see. I invited him to speak. So yeah, so now finish the request.
We could just go to a VC and server mute everyone.
Would you guys prefer to do that?
I would.
I may have a
This doesn't
solution.
work. Oh, he's up. He's up.
There you go.
Hello,
Hello,
what
Mr.
did you
Demonster. Plain secessionism. Ignoring imperial and imperial order, and disrespect of authority.
Well, I don't think he would do that.
Right. Do you have, evidence to show, the witness right now? You kind of have a testimony. You
Give me a couple seconds. Oh,
okay?
um, 2 seconds. Okay, so he committed he did not apply to he did not do he didn't like do the law, correct? I think that boys will be boys and everyone makes mistakes though. Also, I don't think he did it.
Okay.
So explain in what scenario did he do these things?
Well, Tate, would you like to inform your witness? I'll give you that opportunity.
Could I interject?
I would like Putin to explain it to him.
Go ahead.
Could I use that as an opportunity to interject and doubt the validity
No.
of this witness? All right. So, Mr. Ananas has been accused of several crimes, including secessionism, which is when you attempt to leave a nation, which is a form of treason. Additionally, hiring marks to attempt to attack a foreign nation, but that's not currently here on the stage. Toxicity and disrespect of superiors under feudal law.
Well, I mean, okay, so the leaving thing. I mean, like, come on. Like, people can leave. Like, freedom of leaving. So, kind of like freedom of speech, but Minecraft. I don't know. So, there's that.
We have a
Objection, I think that this is anti-Asian discrimination happening.
Could I object to the witness's statement, please?
I actually want to say something first. Real quick, Mr. Dimitri, if you are not informed of the law does state that secessionism is not allowed by Iraq. Now, yeah, I've got my fault. And second thing is, Tank, would you, can I politely request you, take, charge of your witness when possible. And then now, Putin, you can speak, or Taint, either way.
Could I please have the floor, Taint?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Demon Slayer is functioning here as a voice of defendant, not of witness, which invalidates his position at this
Oh, my bad.
No, that's absolutely fine. I'm just saying that Mr. Demon Slayer is supposed to be here to provide evidence in defense of Mr. Ananas. He is instead providing an argument. Additionally, as you've stated, his argument is false since Urakan law prohibits secession.
Well, what proof did we have that he actually left his country?
He didn't leave. It's attempted secessionism, and we do have in the court filing. We have proof of that.
I don't know Demon Slayer, but he DM'd me saying he saw what happened, but he doesn't have like screenshots or videos.
May I read the DMs?
I
say
yes, it's in court.
7:11 p.m.
Okay. Demon Slayer, look, you're out of line, man. You're supposed to be a witness, and it looks like Anas is saying I don't even know who Demon Slayer is. So are you an actual witness?
I would like to plead anti-Asian discrimination.
Okay, that's how this works.
All right, Mr. Tank, could I please advise you to please vet your witnesses in future? I understand. Mano Mano here. Your job is not exactly easy in this particular court case.
Yeah, that's my bad.
I'll be honest. I'm trying to hold in laughing because of that.
That's why I'm
Oh.
muted. Whenever I'm muted, that's mostly the reason.
Okay. So, Tank, you have any other witnesses?
No, he's spamming my DMs.
I would like to
Okay, I'm
suggest.
good now. Okay.
Excellent. Could I
He just
suggest?
said
Mr. Tate
I'm assuming you don't want him back up here, but he said he has evidence.
I highly doubt that personally, but that is not my purview.
Okay, will he act as a witness and not as a defendant? Tank, can you assure that? Because I mean, if you're calling a witness to the stand,
I can't assure that it's completely serious, but he said
Mr.
he was
Tate,
joking and he actually does have evidence.
Mr.
Okay.
He
Tate,
said he was
can
he was kicked out of the town that what's it called? Hold on. In the Minecraft book, not Iron, the other one.
No, that is false. I have talked to Killer. This is not Killer. This I will advise you, Tate. This is just a meme lord, not a witness.
okay.
Can we hear what he has to say?
Mr. Tate, for the professionalism of this court meeting, I advise you not to require that.
I mean,
It's
alright,
by
so
I'm saying I'm being serious. Please let me back up.
okay,
Okay.
well, I
I
as a
see
judge,
one more chance, and then we'll kick him off.
I'll say as a judge, I'm gonna allow this because, well, I mean, I just want to see what happens, and plus the fact of if he is a witness, he's a witness. So I mean, I'm gonna allow it. So once you accept
You've
the
been
thing,
invited out.
Yeah.
I've sent the thing.
His hands raised.
oh, there you go. Invite to speak. Just had he has to do that one last step. That's all you gotta do, demon. You not get on my stand. Half, please. Frost.
Uh,
Waiting for this witness. This shit baggy as fuck. Okay. Oh,
could I contest the validity of the witness to save us the trouble?
Uh,
would you allow that defendant?
no, hold on. Try leaving and rejoining. It worked last time.
Okay. We're gonna try to see this this witness through, not just for the validity of this witness in the court, but for honestly, I'm quite interested to see if he's actually gonna produce any evidence or witness testimony.
Don't be interested. There's no chance. Could I contest the fact that Mr. Demon Slayer has made up a reason to come up to the court by attempting to impersonate one of the signers of the treaty?
We can dispute that after, well, when the witness is at the stand. How's that sound? You can cross-examine the witness if you wish.
Yes, I mean,
Um,
I've been giving. May I just quickly address something? I've been getting a few DM. Oh, hang on, never mind.
Go.
Go
oh,
ahead.
there you go. Hello, demon. Go ahead.
Hello.
You at the stand?
I was part of Reykjavik.
Reykjavik is not the name of the town, as far as I'm aware.
I'm sorry, I'm not a big Minecraft connoisseur. I will say. However,
I got a mute.
he did not actually attempt to leave. I think he said that he was just thinking about it, and he didn't actually try. Also, may I send this screenshot from one of the admins of this server, who is he's a pedophile now, and that makes this happen much more validly. Anyways, there we go. Anyways, Ananas is clear. It was me who tried to leave. I changed my name to his. I attempted to leave, and this was to accuse him. And this is actually
Objection? Oh, no,
objection to
actually,
what?
no. Continue, please. I apologize.
I simply did not do a crime, however, because I didn't do what I said, and I was tricking you. However, Cornwallis Eldham's the smartest Neo. Not only has been rather being rude to me this whole time, he did it. I play impersonation too.
I'm putting down this shit show. I've been listening for too long and laughing.
I'm trying not to die.
Mr. Snowflake, could I please advise you to be
Professional.
Okay. Okay.
That was
more
that was Miss Taint, the wife of Taint, the lawyer at large.
What? No, this isn't true. I object.
Your Honor, can I please
Okay, I'm calming down. Yes. let's
Continue on.
Yes.
could I please raise some doubts I have over the validity of the witness?
No, Your Honor, no.
I'll allow it. I am gonna fully allow in this case. Please go ahead and proceed.
I do not believe that the witness is a witness, and due to the fact that I don't believe any substantial evidence nor testimony has been brought to stand. Additionally, the witness's primary objective has appeared to have been running as defendant on
I
behalf
believe your screenshots are photoshopped.
All right.
This is not a laughing matter.
May I please just say, Mr. Ananas, there is no doubt as to the invalidity of that witness. I personally will not be contributing his testimony in my prosecution.
I do want to bring up one thing you said.
Go ahead, Taint.
He brought up how this might be anti-Asian discrimination.
Okay.
I believe that since he is representing Putin, this may be in fact rigged and fixed in his favor due to the race of Mr. Ananas.
Objection. I was unaware of Mr. Ananas's racial orientation.
I am as also judge to say I'm unaware of either one's racial race or preference, racial preference or race, because neither defendant or prosecutor has arrived at court. I'm not aware of either race, so plus I'm not sure this species of Asian you speak of is.
Pardon?
Roleplay wise, I mean, it's not. I don't know. Just pointing out. So that right there, we're not gonna do that. Is there any other things you wish to say, defendant?
You guys can continue.
Okay. Mr. Anas, do you need to say anything else or have any witnesses? You just want to close stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Anas. You can breathe now, at least.
Could people refrain from type? I understand it is pretty based, but while Mr. Ananas tries to say his piece, could you die in silent of laughter?
Yeah. Look, guys, if you're not Mr. Anas, please don't type right now. He's trying to pronounce his case. Let's chillax.
Understandable, Mr. Ananas. Demon Slayer, first of all, there is no evidence to suggest your accusation of Mr. Ananas being a so-called Asian. If you please, could you prevent spamming, or I will have to remove you on behalf of this Discord server's rules that don't exist that I just made up. But could you please not spam images at this current time? And Cornwallis, could you? You're not a member of the prosecution, so could you please not levy opinions at this time?
Right. I'm trying to work the part right now. Okay, so Anas, do you have? Let's see. You were saying. Let's see, so much stuff going on. Mail your stuff.
I think I succinctly could, because I think I know already what he's talking about.
Okay.
He's trying to claim that the fact that he did in it. I'm not disagreeing that the treaty was at one point valid. Mr. Ananas is trying to say that because it was at one point valid, it is permanently valid. Despite the fact that the signees of the treaty are no longer in power and that the treaty was not made aware or ratified by the actual government at the time of the treaty so-called infringement. Mr. Ananas has been clearly attempting to use the treaty as a shoddy shield against his against scrutiny, which is personally I would describe it as laughable.
Look, Mr. Anas, yes, we realize Ragnarok was a government, and at the time it was made. But the issue is at currently the disputableness of nature of that document. If it was not presented to their own government that it was in fact a treaty, then that is on the nation's behalf, and it is not your fault. However, because it was not presented to their government or any other structured official from that nation, it is correctly invalid because that leader did leave. If it was made by that leader, as I just was saying, Mr. Nass, then it simply would be with the leader if he did not announce it with their government. So the validity of that treaty died with that. Okay.
I object.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, defendant.
Mr. Ananas has been through good times and bad times here in his stay on the Stonework server, and this is personally for him an all-time low. And I feel as if he is cracking under the high pressure, and we need a breather and a private call for 5 minutes.
So you requesting recess?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, prosecutor, you okay with that?
Personally, I'd like
I
to.
object. I want recess.
I would like to ask to exactly what the purpose would this be.
Just
Um,
me
you
personally
don't-
speaking to Mr. Ananas.
All right. Could I just before we close, I would personally advise Mr. Ananas plead insanity, as that is probably the most
Object.
reduced sentence.
Yeah, no, prosecutor, you have no bounds there, prosecutor.
No,
Okay.
of course, but
Yeah.
an advision and a mere advice.
Okay. So go ahead, take your recess, boys. I will stay in this call and wait for you guys to come back from recess.
All right.
Court is adjourned for, as he said, 5 minutes.
If Mr. Ananas and Mr. Taint would like a private call, I could drag them into a admin channel.
I think we're just
Or
gonna
they
do it in DMs.
Okay, that's okay then.
All right, we'll be back in probably 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
Amazing. It is 1 a.m. on a school night almost.
If you need to call recess for the rest of the night, we can. But honestly, for me at least, I've kind of already decided, but I want to see what else they had to, present in this case. I'm quite intrigued, to be honest.
I do believe that they are also wanting to know exactly what they are planning to present.
I will completely say this as a judge. It is kind of not really good practice to show up to court without your defendant knowing anything about the case.
Yes. Although it is obvious that Mr. Taint is completely uninformed, I don't necessarily hold that against him.
Oh no, I did not.
As in, I do not hold that as a slight against him as a defendant. More of a he is objectively unprepared. That does not reflect his skills as a defendant
Oh, of course.
necessarily.
So for anyone that's in the call that do want to go to a case, get a point out. If you couldn't tell, we do have standards, and the standard is if the court was actually this time at least actually late by an hour because our meeting with the actual leadership went over an hour. So they had plenty of time to organize and do anything they need to do evidence wise, and preparation. If you're gonna summon me to actually have a court case, if you can't settle it outside of court, please actually either be prepared to defend yourself or prepare the person that's gonna be defending yourself. For that.
May I please just? I know we're in recess, but even if it's informally, may I please point something out?
You can you please wait?
What can I point it out informally then?
Is it about the case or is it
It is
about
about the
anything?
case. Well, it's
Uh,
about something that's happening in recess currently.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Z has pointed out that despite Mr. Ananas not claiming to know the so-called witness, he is now in a call with him, the witness, and the defending lawyer, which indicates to me personally that this is a potential attempt at rigging the witness. However, that is obviously informal, and I can restate that when we come back from recess if you want.
Oh, there we go back. Here. Let's see. Okay. Allow them to speak. Invite to speak. There you go. Free Nas, go ahead. Just when you're ready to join the stage, you are invited to the stage. Okay. Glitching out. It happens.
We'll just attempt to get.
Anas, if you aren't talking, it'll be your lawyer. I mean, unless you wish to make your statements in chat, or just try and get your lawyer back onto the, or defendant back onto the stage. If they're rig it, please refrain from saying we're gonna rig it, Mister.
All right,
Tank.
I can join now.
Yes, Tank. Can you
All right,
refrain from saying we're gonna rig it?
maybe. I'm not entirely sure at this point.
All right.
This has been very unprofessional. All right. He claimed there was no beef, and they, out of the blue, declared war on him, and the only war he participated in was self-defense, and he was trying to gain peace from them, and he didn't want any trouble with him and his mercenaries. He was using them purely to not lose money and be killed by randos.
Objection. On two
I
fronts.
object.
Okay. Would you like question? And actually, for one, if you're gonna question the defendant, are you questioning the defendant or us in this statement?
The defendant lawyer, Mr. Taint.
Okay, then go ahead. Proceed.
Mr. Taint, two things. First of all, the sea base he created and the mercs he hired were deliberately to antagonize Amarillo when he didn't recognize their sea claim. Amarillo admittedly should have brought this to the higher Uraka government, and maybe we could have done something about it. However, it is equally likely that Amarillo, due to Mr. Ananas's extremely wavering loyalty
He
to
says
this
it's unclaimed land. He was free to take that spot.
Indeed. However, my second point is that this is not actually a topic that is being persecuted at this current time. If you do not have if you don't have a defense on a particular accusation that is being presented to this
Okay,
court,
so what exactly are you saying he did? Put it into the most simplest terms possible.
plotted to secede by
Pretend I'm a
talking.
3-year-old. Explain it to me as a 3-year-old.
Understandable. Plotting to secede, which means trying to leave a nation, by talking to someone who was up for election at the time and offering them a deal for his votes, his and his friends presumably, but I don't necessarily know that. At least his vote, in return for independence once he takes power. Additionally, he is under accusation for disrespect of authority under feudal law.
Disrespect of authority. Can I see the screenshots,
As in,
please?
you may. I will.
Put them at the bottom of court filing.
Of course.
I just replied to it. Those two screenshots, the top of the pair, I replied it to. Theo is co-governor, I believe, of Catania. I am not 100% sure on that, but someone from Catania could. Yes, indeed.
All right.
Back
Well,
me up
by the
on that one.
screenshots here, it looks as he was being just as, if not more, disrespectful to my defendant here.
As far as the evidence here says,
He is bringing back up the anti-Asian hate and saying his English isn't amazing, which frankly I deem unacceptable.
Mr. Tears has already provided a defense for this before presenting the evidence, in that he had been doing this for, quote, several hours and was losing his patience. Additionally, that is a counter accusation and not a defense, meaning
A solution here. May I speak?
you may.
All right.
If I could, please.
My defendant here is, in my eyes, 100% innocent, but he will pay a fee of $1,500 and all charges will be dropped.
That's
I estimate.
that's
May I
not
speak?
exactly how court works.
May I speak?
We'll make
Yeah,
it
go
work that
ahead.
way.
First of all, two things. One, that is not how court works and is a woefully proportionately low fine. Additionally, we calculate the damages so far have reached the hundreds of thousands as far as
That's bullshit. I object.
damages to foreign nations mainly. With them losing players over wars that he started over a sea base. He will immediately counter that by saying he didn't
Okay.
start a war. However, I will say that that is not a point up to contention at this time, as I've said, because I did not propose. I am not persecuting him
All
of that.
right, so where are the $100,000 of damages coming from if that's not what you're prosecuting him for?
That's not how
I
it's
must. Could I say that I will emphasize my initial point of that is not how court works as my primary reason why you shouldn't be allowed to propose a fine and have it go through like that.
Real quick, I will say this. He was saying the
if-
100
Oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
the 100,000 he was saying was referring to the 1K settlement he was trying to propose, because that was current the damages that he has caused. Now we are not really discussing that at the moment, and plus that's not how court works. If anything, that should have been handled outside of court if he wanted to pay that repercussions. So
Indeed.
All right, so what
Can I
exactly do
elaborate?
you want for my defendant if you do, in the end, deem him guilty? Do you want him out of the nation? Where do you want him?
Could I take the floor on this one?
go ahead.
I would require that your client complies with my previous imperial decree that I actually accused him of failing to follow, and I have actually not argued that point across. I consider it rather excessive at this point. Additionally, I will settle for no less than 350,000.
All right, how about this? No, he will go to a rehabilitation camp.
He can absolutely go to a rehabilitation camp.
Learn respect, he will learn honor, and he will be treated as a human being without anti-Asian discrimination.
Okay.
Eh.
If you're gonna keep pressing the charge of anti-Asian discrimination, right now we're not taking any discrimination against him, as far as I know, because I before this meeting had no, as a court, had no idea, nor did anyone else that he was Asian, or what race he is currently. Now, what I'm gonna say as a judge, now because it is technically secession charges, I would like to actually bring up. Let's see if Neo's still in the call. He is. Neo, because it is secession, and I believe it is secession from Iraq. Am I correct about that? Oh, Uraka.
Kinda, yes, which is a vassal of Uraka, which
Okay.
means that yes, indeed.
So he has final say on that. So I would like to actually bring up, because I technically do not, prior to the meeting it was discussed, I did not have authority to rule over feudal stuff, or whatever you call it. I would like to actually bring Neil up if he's available to say what that would be in terms of what's it called, that if unless prosecutor does know that what's the punishment for secession charges or planning secession.
Secession charges under the current system by which Mr. Ananas was charged for secessionism is up to the discretion of the imperator as to the severity of the charges. The general, well, Imperator Neo can tell you himself, actually.
All right. So, depending on the severity, like let's say active recruiting or plan to leave the city is punishable by exile for up to a month, and then if they want to come back, they can come back.
Thank you, Neo.
Your Honor, I object.
Okay. go
But I
ahead.
also I would like to make my use a little bit of my imperial weight. The rehabilitation camp. That does sound like a good idea.
My
could put him in
defendant
Christ.
only has $120, so I will pay on his behalf. I will give you 3 diamonds and a cow spawn egg.
Could I please interject on and
But back to your rule.
Yeah. Thank you.
could I object to that?
I say if you execute him, you are bringing up
We're not
past
even executing.
Mr.
past
Taint,
action culture.
I am
Okay.
not sure if you are privy to this or if you're merely lying, but Mr. Ananas has hired 94k worth of mercenary positions already. So,
Mr.
and
Ananas does
and
not
I
have.
and I know
Please
for a
give me
fact
the
that Mr.
evidence. Please,
Okay, one sec.
please provide the evidence.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I don't believe this statement, this currently discussion, is relevant to the current court case, is it?
I don't believe either.
Okay. So because it's not
I
relevant,
believe
I'm
this
just
is
gonna.
relevant.
Okay.
He
Can you?
is bashing my my defendant's name,
May I just say that is a
using
prosecution
his name in
not a
vain.
defense.
It may
Right.
be because he's Asian. It may be because you don't like him.
Okay, we are not going to continue his anti-Asian BS. Seriously. Okay, so here's how it's going to proceed. Now, prosecutor, you have charged him with planning secession. You have charged him with not following imperial law, technically imperial order, and disrespecting superiors. Now, I am going to ask you, and I'm just going to ask Tate, what would you guys prefer, like the punishment to currently be? Neo has stated the charges of the secession. I would like the prosecutor. No,
My client.
can
You
you
do not have the floor.
Yeah, continue. Wait, Tate.
I
Seriously.
object.
Mr. Tank, you
Hey.
do not have the floor.
Okay, both of you. All right, I'm gonna hand this off to the prosecutor. Prosecutor, what would you like the punishment to be?
I have 2 options here because there is a practical punishment and an ideal punishment. I'm personally not of the opinion that Mr. Ananas will actually comply with the court order should a punishment be given. I would require at least that Mr. Ananas is given a banishment for the maximum possible sentence, and ideally would also pay a fine, but I doubt that he would in fact agree to that, even if he was mandated by the court, so I will not require it of him personally. And basically just comply with previous imperial decree, and which also includes removing his sea base off the coast of Amarillo.
May I speak,
Okay.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
He said that he has only spent $7,000 and he doesn't know where he would get the 94K from because he does not, in fact, have it. At the same time, he would like to keep his base because it's his property. He was there before the other people. He has every right to his land, and I think due to what you people have put him through in the last 24 hours, that you guys should be paying him a fine of $150,000.
Objection.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. The ruling of the whole 94K, 7K mercs, that's not up to court right now. That was just you guys bickering. I should have stopped assuming. That
Right,
was
we would
nothing
like to
relevant
sue
to.
them.
That was not relevant to court. Now, what is relevant to court is the how you guys how you guys want to proceed with the punishment of Anas if he is found guilty. Now, the current thing is, Mr. Catalyst is saying removal of land and banishment up to a week, correct?
Maximum, so a month.
Okay. Now that is what he is suggesting. Now you are saying that he does not want to lose land. I'm trying to suggest though, what is he willing to, continue going with as a punishment, Mr. Defendant?
My client will do 8. Let's see. My will do 25 minutes of rehabilitation camp tonight. No more,
And-
no less.
And who is in charge of this words, this camp?
That's like
I thought you were going to
So-
say Mr. Ananas.
So the witness who was a memer is gonna be in charge of this camp to rehabilitate. What?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I'm just gonna
Yes,
say
Your
right
Honor.
now, as judge and I'm guessing as speaker of this, court, that is not suitable punishment because that'd be
I
technically.
object.
Well, how
That's the judge. That's not how court works. How many times?
No, and you can object all you want, but the actual issue at hand is that would be showing bias.
Enough.
He'd get punished by a witness that was at his court case. Now that's not how it would that would not go out well. Now, here's how it's gonna go. I think we've kept everyone long enough. You guys either want to have closing statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
I object.
Object to what?
My client is completely innocent and should not be fined anything, and all he should have to go through is a rehabilitation camp, and he wants to know and let everybody know that he did nothing wrong, and this is false government propaganda
Okay.
against the Asian species.
If that's brought up one more time, defended, this court will be over in 2 seconds. Now. Okay, prosecutor, you have any closing statements?
Personally, the only reason I would also like to levy a fine is because my time has been consumed immeasurably by this whole thing. I am extremely irritated that it has had to come this far, and I am furious with Mr. Ananas personally
I
because
object.
you cannot object to a personal statement.
Defense attorney, get yourself in line, please.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Look, I have significant hours of my time have been consumed by this topic, and numerous times have I attempted to put a nail in the head personally. and Mr. Ananas, despite Neo and me having photo evidence of Neo giving me imperial authority to act on the case, has demanded it be brought up to Neo himself. Neo was told. Neo told me personally, just earlier today, that he told Mr. Ananas that he does not have authority on the case because he gave it to me. Mr. Ananas seemed, in Neo's own words, incapable of understanding that fact. My time has been consumed immeasurably by this, and I would very much like to go to bed.
Okay. So,
He wants to leave on a high note. I
yeah.
think he doesn't want to prove all of the evidence, and he wants to get out of here as fast as possible to let my client.
And that's you're having the fairest trial possible. I mean, I am a leader of a separate nation that's not even involved in this whole diplomatic thing or measure that has been caused here. That's as fair as you're gonna get here. Now, and that being said, um, here's the fun part, and that's you have been found guilty of the following planning secession.
Your Honor, this is false.
Of planning secession. This annoying imperial what's it called imperial order and disrespecting your superiors. Now, especially so your charge has your punishment. You be your land will be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be completely taken away from you. That is gonna be up to who's in charge of the land currently. But what
Mr.
nation?
Ananas.
Well, what nation is
Oh,
it under?
His
Catania.
specifically what happened.
Catania. Yeah, it's under Catania's
Oh
jurisdiction.
no, the Iron Town situation has already been dealt with. This is actually about his sea base that he
Yeah, I
built
know.
off of.
That would be in Catania's jurisdiction.
All right,
Right.
jurisdiction. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. And that's your town would be put up to what Catania wants to do with it. You would not have what's called. You would have that would be up to them if you have.
Your Honor,
It'd be up to them. What's the defendant?
I have a witness.
The
Two
court.
chains
The
would like
court.
to come up
The
and
court
explain.
has.
The court.
The court is finished.
Passed
Yeah,
its verdict.
yeah.
This
I've
is
quite
bias.
Anyway,
This is Asian discrimination.
okay.
You were warned.
No, yeah, I warned you. Okay, there you go. I warned you for a different that if you said that again. Okay. Anyway, what's gonna happen is your land will be sieged by Catania. Now they can decide what they want to do with your authority in your land afterwards. Now you would be banished from Uraka. That'd be better saying Uraka for a week. I'm not gonna do a month. That's a bit extreme. And that's what the court is what's it called? Judged as. That is the fairest thing I can really possibly give right now. There will be no fine pressed unless what's it called? Catalyst really wants to be pressed, but I believe the seizure of land and banishment is good enough in this case. All right. With that being said, court is adjourned.
Thank you very much. I will go to bed, fuck's sake.
Yeah.